Hello and good morning, friends. Today, it's story time. What kind of shenanigans did I get into this time? Let's get into it. So, I do a lot of work for people who do investment properties, right? So, what their whole spiel is that they buy a house low, fix it up, and resell it, right? That's their whole thing. That's what they do all day, every day. But a lot of them will call me to have me inspect the septic systems or to kind of give them guidance on what might need to be repaired to help the transaction go a little bit faster, right? These guys, it's all about how fast can they get in and get out, right? They want to build the house back up to what it should look like, and they want to avoid the tiny little details that buyers always look for. So sometimes it's something really stupid and cosmetic, sometimes it's a major thing, but they want to square it away first, so that way they're not sitting waiting an additional 30 to 45 days during the transaction to make the house transfer over, right? So this particular house was 78, 79, somewhere in that ballpark, late 70s. It was designed based off the county records to be a 1,000-gallon tank to a single pit that's 12 feet deep, 10 by 12, right? Super common, straightforward, classic Frederick County type of property. So we go to the property, knock on the door, say hello to the homeowner. Homeowner answers, and I ask my usual questions. How long have you lived here? When's the last time you pumped it? How many people occupy the house? All of which was lived here for 40 years, no idea when the tank was last pumped, and it's just me, but I use Rid-X. Now, no harp against that particular company, but usually whenever I hear I've lived here for X amount of years and I use whatever bacterial stimulant, I know I'm in for a rough day, right? So as I go and get my information, I start looking around for the tank. She tells me it's in the front yard. Okay, no big deal. So usually in this neighborhood, almost every single tank is going to have a 6-inch cast iron clean out somewhere on the front of the tank. Every now and again you get one on the back of the tank, right? So I go out, look, nothing apparent at grade. No big deal. A lot of times in this area, they get covered by about 1 inch or 2 of grass. You grab a metal detector, you take a look, and you'll find it in about 5 minutes. Now, I metal detect the entire yard. Nothing. Can't find it at all. I said, oh, that's kind of weird. Maybe it's plastic. Let's go ahead and probe. So whenever I'm probing for a tank, generally, especially when the records say that it's only 1.5 feet down below the surface, what I do is I pick a high point, and then I pick a far corner. So basically I went up by the front porch and the driveway, and then every foot you just probe in the ground, right? You probe down about 3 feet. You're more likely to hit it because the tank's kind of big. So if you probe every foot straight down and then straight across, the odds of you hitting that tank is very high, right? Now, when we're probing, we're not hitting anything, right? Looking around for 20, 30 minutes. Now, we've looked for quite a while. Usually you should have a tank open and found within 5 minutes, 10 minutes at most, right? So we're still looking. We have no idea where this tank is. So the next step is we use a locator, right? So how does that locator work? So on the back of on the top of my camera, on the camera head, there's a little radio transponder. And so what it'll do is you put it in the pipe and it communicates with the locating device. And what'll happen is that signal will come up. It'll tell me, hey, it's right here. It's 2 foot, 3 feet, 6 feet, whatever the number is, up to like 13 or something to that effect. So look around in the basement to see, do we have a sewer cleanout? Most properties will have an access cap somewhere in the basement. Usually in this area, it's almost always going to be behind a wall of some variety because that's just what they did in the 70s. They would drywall right over top of the stupid thing because you never need to get into it, right? So I don't see it, but I do see some water damage to the tile or to like this laminate tile around the basement toilet. And then I see that there is a 2-inch cap underneath the utility sink. I'm not crawling under that because the odds of me getting my camera to the tank through that little tiny access cap, slim to none, so it's not even worth attempting to open that. So I said, all right, well, can't find the tank outside. We got no access in the house. There's water damage by the toilet, so I don't want to pull the toilet because I don't know why there's water damage, and I don't want to be responsible for that. So the last and final option, my last little Hail Mary, is to go to the roof, right? Go to the roof, find the vent stack. All houses will have a vent stack because you have to have the air come in while you're flushing the toilet so that we don't get like a glug, glug, glug sound, right? Now, it also helps to dissipate the fumes and the gases and all that stuff from the septic tank so you get less corrosion in the tank. But usually these vents will be a straight shot right into the main sewer stack, and then you just toss your camera through. Same thing like if you had a snake or some kind of auger to clear a line, you just go from the vent right on into the pipe, and then boom, now you're in the tank and you know where you're at. So climb up on the roof, get the camera in the pipe, run the camera out to the tank. I know I'm in the tank because I can see the front baffle. Now, the problem is, as soon as I go straight down and then I make my turn to exit the house, the whole pipe is underwater. All of it. Like basically from the end of the house, because that's where the vent was on the back of the house, all the way to the front, and then an additional 20 feet from the front of the house into the tank. All of it's completely underwater. Not good. So go out, take a look, see where's this pipe at, or where's my camera head at. And I see that, okay, this is actually gonna be about 6 feet below the surface in the front yard. Just roughly kind of where I expected it to be based off the county records. So we go out, we probe around, there's no lid at all right? In our state, you are required to have a access point of some variety accessible within 3 feet. So this one was already out of compliance, not the end of the world, but annoying, right? So we can't really do anything because we didn't know we would need an excavator, so we don't have an excavator. So basically this is one of those, hey, it's backed up, you've got a problem, we can't do anything about it right now, we got to come back, right? So tell homeowner this is what's going on, be conscious, because she was selling it in 5 days. So like she was basically already leaving. Like she was living in a motel, she's done with that property. The buyer, who's the investor, I talked to him and I say, look, here's the deal, here's what's going on, you make sure you get it squared away. Everybody seems good to go. Fast forward over the weekend, 5 days to the next Monday, get a phone call, nasty phone call, that we caused her sewer to back up into her basement and caused damage. To which I said, no, that's not how that works. Everything was backed up previously. And this is why, as a contractor, it is a good thing you take photos, right? Always take photos of everything you find, even if you don't think that it's necessary. So remember how earlier I said I found the toilet with water damage around the flooring, right? Snapped a quick photo. Didn't know if it would be relevant or not, who knows? But as soon as I saw that sewer pipe was completely underwater, I videotaped that sewer pipe being completely underwater. So now I have evidence that no, it's backed up before, and also I told you the whole thing was underwater, I didn't cause that to happen. So all that's good to go, right? And the issue that we're running into is this thing's not draining, right? So now you got to figure out why is it not draining, and unfortunately you can't figure out why it's not draining until you dig up the stupid pipe and see, is it the trench, is it the pits, is it the pipe, what could possibly be going on? In that particular area, the three most common issues you're going to run into are clogs, collapses, failures, right? With a septic system from the 70s, the odds of it still being functional, I would say it's 60%, maybe 70% are not working, right? There is the small few that do, but they're far and few between. So you can't just rely on it being good for it being that old, right? So all this to be said, if you're going to be doing any kind of work, it's very important to make sure that you take photos of everything that you do. The other part of this is, if you're a homeowner, just because somebody tells you that something's not working or shows you that it's broken doesn't mean that they broke it, right? The odds of me having the time to cause your septic system to fail in 35 minutes is impossible, right? Maybe if I crush a pipe, but at that point, I'd have an excavator in the front yard, and if I have an excavator in the front yard, I have pipe on the truck to fix the pipe when I break it, right? Wouldn't that make sense? So before you jump to conclusions, always make sure you kind of ask around, like, hey, what did you see? What happened? This particular property, like, the investor was going to replace all that stuff anyway, because it doesn't matter. He was going from a 3-bedroom house to a 5-bedroom house. The state won't let you do that, so you got to replace the tank and set the absorption system anyway. So basically, he already built that in. He just wanted to see how long did he have until he had to do that, because his plan was to rent it for a little while and then flip it. But in this particular circumstance, since they got to replace the tank anyway, he's just going to fast forward his plans and move on to the next property. I hope this was interesting and entertaining. Maybe you learned something, maybe you didn't. Leave a comment below. Tell me, have you ever had something like that happen? Have you had a contractor in your house, and then while they were working, they discovered something, and then all of a sudden now you think that maybe they broke it, right? Maybe you're a contractor. Has anybody ever accused you of breaking something? Leave a comment below. I love reading these comments. If there's an area of conversation you want me to cover, leave a comment. I'll try to get to all of them as fast as I can. They are starting to flow in a little bit more aggressively now, so it is a little bit harder to keep up. But I hope you enjoyed it. Hit that like button, hit subscribe. Till next time, guys.